Hey guys, Ryan Steinelson here. It's 2:00 on Tuesday, and I'm gonna post this live to the school community, and hopefully we'll get some people to join live here. And hopefully you guys are getting value out of this. I'm gonna, the goal is to get as many people on here as possible live to have a workshop format. If you can't join me live, you can definitely join my community. If you don't know who I am, again, my name is Ryan Steinelson. I'm the founder of a 7-digit digital marketing agency that's been around for the past 20 years. We're Google local service ads partners, and we have been for the past 9 years. What does that mean? It means that we were selected by Google to be a partner level agency. So we have access to support that most other agencies don't get, and we also can get things done a lot faster because we do have support that other agencies don't have as well. So yeah, we've been doing this for a while, and one of the ways that you can communicate with me is on any of our social media. I'm going to be creating a newsletter here pretty soon in order to keep you guys up to speed on what's going on with artificial intelligence. What I do is on this channel, on this particular school community, or in this school community and on these channels for DIY is I help you understand how you can do a lot of this AI stuff yourself. You can implement these tools. You can leverage them, these AI, artificial intelligence tools, to do things like answer the phone, voice AI agents, set up agents to do everything else for you that you don't want to do. The AI agents can actually run your computer for you. They can run your entire life. And people are doing that with tools like OpenClaw, ClaudeBot, Claude Cowork, etc. If you want to continue the conversation after we meet, you can go to their website. It's diyai.ai. You can also go to our school community that I mentioned a couple times. That's at school.com/DIY-AI. The way this format that I do is primarily designed for a workshop environment where somebody joins and I answer their questions live. But if you have questions, you can post them below the video as well in the comments section. By the way, you can also call us at 561-861-3238. You can see it on the screen there. Even if you're on the recording, you can post comments and I will respond to those comments immediately. The tools that we offer here are, one is LSA Command, which allows you to manage your LSA platform, and then also Convertly, which is the voice AI agent. Let me know what questions you have. I'm going to go in. If I don't get anybody on the call, I typically go over 3 topics every time. If nobody joins, then I typically will jump off in like 15, 20, 30 minutes after I go over and cover the topics. So you guys saw the topics before the call today. Again, let me know if you've got any questions. Today, let's see. I was going to go through this. So it's the 3-second rule, how to manage AI agents that close deals before your competitors wake up. So this is really what everybody's trying to figure out now, is how to leverage this technology, what I call Gravity Claw or Open Claw. It's had many different names, since the beginning of when it was created, only 4 months ago. And everybody's trying to figure out how to leverage these agent or agentic tools and really the only difference between an agent and the way we've been interacting with these large language models since the beginning is that instead of just giving the agent a prompt, you're giving the agent, or instead of giving the LLM a prompt, what you're doing is you're creating an agent that you're giving a goal to. And that goal is in essence what the prompt is. So the agent uses everything at its disposal that you give it access to in order to achieve that goal. And the other difference between the large language models and these agents is that you can communicate with them through chats. Like, and I didn't really, plan on talking about this today, but it's really at the forefront of what we're discussing today, which is how do you build these agents? So we've got to really identify what an agent is, that closes deals before your competitors wake up, or that can close deals before your competitors wake up to what the technology is that's at everybody's disposal. Which, like I said, is OpenClaw, Claude Cowork, which, by the way, Claude just announced they just released their own training course for free. This is like amazing. Like, they've got their own training course. Forget YouTube channel videos that are free from everybody else. I'm talking about a training and actually certifications that you can get around AI from a large language model provider. I mean, one of the largest, one of the top three, arguably, maybe even the top one. I mean, their model, Opus 4.6, is arguably the top model out there. So you can get trained for free. I mean, that's mind blowing. So you can learn about these top tier tools like Claude Cowork from the large language model creator itself. And so that's really, I would encourage anybody that's out there to go and do that. Please post any comments below the video if you've got any. I'm going to go through, some of these topics here. We've got 3 today, like I said, as we do every day when I do these. If your AI is answering just FAQs, you're bleeding cash. I would agree. In 2026, AI isn't a customer service rep. And this is one of the things that you could, by the way, as I'm reading this, the AI agent that I've created has developed what's called a cron job, or I've given it a cron job, or a chronological job. In other words, a job that's based on chronology, meaning a time period. So every day, every week, etc. That's what a cron job is. So I've given my agent a cron job that is to be completed every Monday before the close of business at 5 Eastern time. It is to create my workshop title, description, and topics, and do the research to find new titles, or to find new topics that I'm gonna go over on my Tuesday call and then on my Wednesday call. So this is an example of, I've given it a goal in order to go and do the research and use all the connections that I've given it. So I might give it other connections. Like, I might give it a connection through Zapier or to any other tools out there in order to achieve the goal that it's supposed to be doing for me. So that's the difference between a large language model and an agent. An agent has at its disposal more tools to get the job done. Like, you might give it access to, who knows? You might give it access to your PayPal account to go buy things. I don't recommend that necessarily, but you can. You might give it access to your Gmail. You might give it access to your Google Drive. You might give it access to anything that it needs. You might give it access to a scraper to get information about businesses in order to do outbound lead generation for you. It can do all of that and more. Anything that a human can do with a computer, an agent can do, as long as you give it the tools necessary to get those jobs done. So, and this is what I'm saying. I'm going to show you how to build autonomous agents, like I verbally told you how to do, that qualify leads, navigate your CRM, and book the calendar under 3 seconds. Stop building text bots that customers hate and start deploying systems that generate revenue while you sleep. So there's 3 topics. The first one is zero latency voice agents for service businesses. So native voice APIs now process speech in under 200 milliseconds. So that's very fast. That's as fast as we humanly process speech. So the agents can now process speech as fast as we can. That's why it's very difficult to tell when you're talking now to an AI agent versus a human. So we'll cover how to deploy voice agents that handle inbound calls for HVAC and plumbing without awkward pauses that kill conversations. So the autonomous CRM, scrubbing, and lead scoring, So the agentic workflows can now predict lead viability. Your AI should automatically tag, enrich, or prioritize your human sales team's calls list based on conversational sentiment. So this is where the agent, now we're moving from speech processing in milliseconds to instead identifying conversational sentiment based on how the tone of the conversation is going, etc. So this is another tool that the agent has at its disposal in order to identify how well a conversation is going. That's not just about timing or speed. It's about the nuances of the conversation and how the conversation is proceeding. That's hidden sometimes in the tone, in the speech frequency, or the speeding up of words or the slowing down of words, etc. The emphasis of words in a conversation. So edge AI versus cloud outages. Relying solely on cloud APIs is a liability. We'll show you how to run small language models locally to ensure your business stays online and data remains private even during massive outages. So there is such a thing as a small language model, which could make it so in other words, the large language models like Gemini, Anthropic, like I'd already mentioned, that has its own training, OpenAI, etc. They are the large language models. These small language models are a smaller version of the large language models that you can run locally on your computer that has almost as much power, but make it so that you don't have to be online. They can be run offline. So there's a big advantage of that, because then your data is compartmentalized, which is really, really great. So these are topics. So the zero latency voice agents, just going back and to talk about that. If you have any questions, again, please post any questions here. Native voice APIs now process speech very rapidly. You can deploy voice agents that handle inbound calls for HVAC, etc., without those pauses. And you can use tools like Retail or Vertex or Ultravox. These are all, or 11 Labs. Some of them are speech to speech. Some of them are speech. Some of them are speech to text to speech. But basically, they're all very fast in terms of how fast they process the what the person's saying and then give back its response. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys understand how that works. And we can do that through our tool called Convertly. It's a voice AI agent that's been tested through tens of customers, or almost hundreds of businesses now that have used the platform. So we know it works, and we know which tools to use for which end result you're looking for. Okay. So the second topic, just circling back on that to give you more clarity on the CRM scrubbing and lead scoring. If you're not using a voice AI agent or a workflow that can predict your leads quality, then you definitely want to know that you can actually find out things like lead quality from the new emotionally aware agents that can be created using tools like 11 Labs, etc., in order to identify more about the quality of the lead outside of just how quickly the AI responds or how quickly the person responds to the AI. Okay, that's possible now. So third topic, edge AI versus cloud outages. As I said, small large language models are absolutely possible. And if you want to know how to set those up, you can actually set them up so that the small language model can be as small as a language model that would fit on somebody's phone app. So you can make these very, very small, and all of the processing would be done on the person's phone or computer, as opposed to being done in the cloud. And the advantages to that is many, many fold. The data is conserved and is siloed. The data is kept in that specific silo, so that the large language models cannot be trained on them, and so that there's more compliance with other guidelines that you might have to keep compliant with, so that the person's information is not shared, etc. So I hope this makes sense. If you guys have any questions, please join our school community. You can go to our DIY AI website on the screen. You can join our school community on the screen there, school.com/DIY AI. And you can call us or text us at 561-861-3238. Join us next week live. I'll answer your questions. Thank you. See you next week.